Today I'm going to talk about two human beings I respect and admire always. One of them I haven't met him, and the other I had the privilege and honor to meet. While in service in my study, I always had two pictures of the people whom I admired most. Yes, first is our father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi, and second, the great lady, Mother Teresa. My friends say admire Bapu, Gandhi ji, more than any other man in history. Of all the prophets of the past, we have no knowledge. We just read about them. Almost everything about them can be put into category of myth or even miracle, and one has to just simply believe in depending upon his or her conviction. With Gandhiji, we know that he walked among us not very long ago, and even today there are many people alive who have who have seen Gandhiji, who have been with him. Even today there are few of them alive. He was always in the public eye. He bared himself. No one, I can assure you, no one can be more honest than him. He said it so succinctly and believed till last. ईश्वर अल्लाह तेरे नाम सबको सम्मति दे भगवान. Very rightly said about him. दे दी हमें आजादी बिना खड़क बिना ढाल, साबरमती के संत तूने कर दिया कमाल. His one and only book authored by him, My Experiment with Truth, I think it must be introduced as a textbook in primary education so that everybody knows. Billions of books have been written upon him, but he has authored only one, and that's My Experiments with Truth. Is simply wonderful. I don't accept his foibles. He took he took a vow of celibacy in his prime, but without consulting his wife, which I think was grossly unfair. He would sleep naked beside young girls to test his brahmacharya, another very obnoxious and ridiculous method, I suppose. He could be very odd, but these are small matters, I suppose. His insistence of truth at all times made him a Mahatma. And the principle of ahimsa, non-violence, not to hurt anyone, is simply inimical. And he followed till last in every situation, irrespective of the consequences. These two words, ahimsa, non-violence and honesty, should be the basis of all religion and all religious people, all godmen of even everyday life, even today. We'll have a better country and a better India. I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and almost a celibate. I cannot say that I have never lied. I have not hurt anyone physically. Never hurt anybody physically. Of course, not including the army days of encounter with the anti-national elements. That was part of my profession and duty. I must have caused hurt with my words and actions, and sometimes There is no forgiveness in me even. But I still, despite all, I still consider myself a Gandhian. Whenever I feel unsure of anything, first I try to imagine, of course not being sounding religious, but I definitely try to imagine what the Prophet of the Islam would have done given to these circumstances. And then surely I imagine what Gandhi would have done, and that is what I do in every situation, in every field. The second person, Mother Teresa. Though I haven't met, I didn't meet Gandhi, but I know everything, almost everything about him. But here is the lady, the great lady Mother Teresa, whom I happened to while I was posted in Calcutta in 1995, 2 years before she passed away in 1997. I spent 3 days with her from early hours in the morning to late night just to know about her. She had got so many accolades in her credit. Before I met her, I had read Malcolm Muggeridge's book on her, titled Something Beautiful for God. Amazing book, beautiful book. On my first meeting, she said beautiful words like every day, every hour, every single minute, God manifests Himself in some miracle. And then she went on narrating many miracles of the days when her organization, Nirmal Hriday, Sacred Heart, Home for Dying Destitutes, close to the Kalighat temple, was little known and always short of cash. She said so. She said that money has never been a problem, and God gives through His people for all noble work. She told me that when she started her first school in slums, she had no more than 5 rupees with her. When Calcutta Corporation handed over the Nirmal Hriday building in 1952, all the Orthodox Hindus were outraged. Got about 400 Brahmin priests. They attached to the Kali temple. Attached to Kali temple, they demonstrated outside the building. She comes out facing the crowd all alone, and she said, "If you want to kill me, but do not disturb the inmates. Let them die in peace." And that silenced everyone, entire crowd. In fact, one of the head priests was suffering from some terminal disease. She immediately allowed him to come in, and she took care of that priest till last. She said that for 40 years she has that I have served Goddess Kali in her temple. Now the Goddess Kali herself stands before me. It was when you visit this her institution, you need a very strong heart. Nirmal Hriday, this home for dying destitute, is a very unique institution. Everyone visiting Calcutta must at least see once. I asked her, "How can you touch people with loathsome diseases like leprosy and gangrene? Aren't you revolted by the people, filthy with dysentery and cholera vomit?" She replied, "I see Jesus in every human being, and I simply say to myself that this is hungry Jesus. This Jesus has gangrene or dysentery or cholera, and I must wash Jesus. Must wash him, and I must tend to him." She was so humble in her narratives. and giving telling of her experiences with uh, abandoned people, abandoned, diseased, suffering from terminal illness. I often thought about those 3 days I spent with Mother Teresa in Calcutta. We walked through crowded streets, rode in train to visit her various hospitals she was visiting all day. I just followed her. Crutches and abandoned children and homes for the dying. I still remember how she tended to a very ill man who was dying. She was with him, looking after him, all the time telling him to say, Bhagavan Achen, there is God. The way in which Mother Teresa went about looking after and tending to the sick, the dying, the hungry, it is simply amazing. It was something like when I later in life I got posted to Amritsar. I happened to visit Bhagat Puran Singh's Pingalwada in Amritsar. Beautiful institution. It is something like that. Another great man. And you visited Pingalwada and Amritsar and their inmates, you get the similar feeling what you get in Nirmal Hriday of Mother Teresa. These two people have inspired me enough, and they should remain oh, for me as a beacon for me, setting principles, values in my life. Thank you very much.